pagbati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pagre-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Classes sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayun din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9 ng umaga hanggang 7 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Good editorial writing has less to do with winning an argument, since the other side is mostly not listening, than with telling guys on the side how they ought to sound when they are arguing. That's according to Adam Gopnik. Blessed Tuesday afternoon, our dear journtastic learners. How are you feeling today? Welcome to CHS Campus Journalism for Beginners. Okay, today marks our first day for our fourth quarter. I hope everybody is doing well. Before we start our session today, let me introduce to you your tutors for today. Yours truly, Tutor War from SDO Caloocan. We have also Tutor Zen from SDO Agusan del Sur and Tutor Josa from SDO Manila. I'm sorry for that. Ayan. So what makes you feel good today, our journtastic learners? We want to hear from you today. So we will be waiting for your responses. Type in your answer into our chat box. But before that, let us just greet some of our students, journtastic students who are in the session early already. So let's hi to Janice Rose Interna from Caloocan High School, Owen Mactal from Caloocan High School as well, Janelle Benavides, Julian Velasco, Andre Armas, good afternoon, Norfitra Abutazil, Mark Julian Malang, Jan Angelo Estrella, Adrian Dominique Bobot. So good afternoon to all of you. And so as with Kriska Balboa and Razel Yuman. Good afternoon to our dear journtastic learners for today. So kindly type in into the to our chat box what makes you feel today so that we will know how are you. According to Nerfitri, my Gohu Saturu plushie makes me feel good today. That's good to hear, Nerfitri. According to Fiona, oh, hello to Fiona. How about the rest? Our dear journtastic learners, we are waiting for your response. What makes you feel today? Ayan, so we are happy. No, if you are to ask me what makes me feel good today, it's the weather that makes me feel happy today. It's not so hot, it's not so cold, it's okay. No, the weather is really inviting us to do good activities, especially if you would like to check the things that you would like to check outside our homes. Yeah. So again, we are waiting for your responses. What makes you feel good today? According to Robbie, I hello to Robbie as well from Ocampo National High School, SDO Camarines Sur. Hi, Robbie. Also, hi to Princess from Caloocan High School, Derek, and Carlo Miguel. Hello, Carlo. How are you? It's been a while since we saw you. I hope that you are doing well as well. Ayan. So we are waiting for your responses. How is everybody doing? Okay. So I hope everybody is well. For today will be a new set of learnings, a new set of activities that we are offering for you. Yeah, so for today, together with Tutor Zed and Tutor War, yours truly, and Tutor Josa, we will be working with editorial writing. Okay, so these are the topics. Well, before we move on to the next part of our discussion, so these are the topics that we are preparing for you or that we have prepared for you for this quarter. So for the first week, we will be working with editorial writing, and which we'll be discussing today. On week 2, we'll be working on column writing. Week 3, we'll be working with editorial cartooning. Week 4, we'll be working with feature writing. Week 5, we'll be working with sports writing. 6, we'll be having copy reading and headline writing. And we'll be having photojournalism for week 7. And on the week 8, we will be having our wrap up session. So again, do not forget to join us every Tuesday at 4:40 p.m. to 5:20 p.m. Ayan. Okay, so let us now start our discussion for today. But before that, let me just read to you our objectives for today. First, define what editorial writing is. Second, identify the characteristics, elements, and basic structures of editorial writing and adhere to the paragraph rules and editorial writing. Ayan, sabi ni John Carlo in the comment box, naku po, copy reading. May experience na po ako. That's good to know, Carlo, that you have already experienced about copy reading. Ayan. So, before we start our activity, I would like you to watch or have this picture first. Using our chat box, I would like you to type in what can you say about the picture. Ayan. So based on the picture that you are seeing, which do you think between the two person here says the correct answer? So the person in the right or in the left says it's number 6, while the other person on the right says it's number 9. Which do you think the two between the two person here is correct? Okay, so we'll be waiting for your responses into our chat box. Good afternoon, George from Ocampo National High School, SDO Camarines School, Sur. Ayan. So you may now use our chat box. Which between the two is the correct? Is the one who is saying the correct answer? Ayan. So Steffi is from Ocampo National High School. Ma'am Karen Benevera Bigera. So let's just wait for the answer of our journtastic students. Ayan. According to Carlo Miguel, he says the one who says number 6. So that's the correct answer according to him. How about the rest? Which between the two men in the picture says the correct answer? Okay, so let's hear from Shekinaya, Jaire, Dorado. Their answers are subjective because they have different perspective. Okay, that's according to Jaire. According to Andre Armas, he says 9. Okay. According to Carl Jerwin Aguilar, both are correct. Okay, both are correct. Let's see. Who between the two you think is the one saying the correct answer? Is it number 6 or is it number 9? Yeah. Okay. According to Irene Desena, none of them are wrong because they have different perspective. Okay. According to Rose Lift, Claire Blanza, both correct po. They just have different perspective. Okay. So good answers, good responses coming from our learners for today. So, which between the two ba talaga is correct? Both of them are correct as they have basing their answers on their point of views. Actually, the responses that you have given me is correct. None of them is incorrect. None of them is correct because, or I'm sorry, none of them is incorrect because both of them is correct, because it depends on the perspective or based on depends on the position that they are in. If we will go to the position of the person on the left, we will see that he is saying it's 6, while if we will go to the perspective of the person who's standing on the right, we will see that he is saying number 9. People have different opinions about life, politics, no, and government, and many more. But along these opinions, we must always remember the word respect. That doesn't mean, no, just like what the picture has been saying to us, not because others are seeing things differently from how we see things, that necessarily means that they are incorrect. It's just depending on the perspective that we are in. So we have to see also, we have to remember that we need to see things on how people are seeing things, not only on the way or how we would like them to see things that we see. Yeah. So I hope that we are getting, or you are getting what the picture is trying to tell us, no? Especially in this time of election. No? People are really giving different opinions of who is better than the others. But we have to remember, no, we have different perspective. We have different opinions about this matter. So let me just add, according to Kriska, none of them are wrong because the correct answer depends on the way they view it. And that is correct. No, so we have different opinions about things, no, but we have to remember that we have to always inculcate in ourselves the word respect, because in campus journalism, in journalism itself, the word respect is very vital. So since we are talking about opinions, so we are talking about how we see things, how people are seeing things, no, depending of course on the perspective, on their perspective, we are now going to discuss about editorial writing. Okay, so who among here are excited to hear or discuss about what editorial writing is all about? Sige nga, let me see a heart emoji into our chat box for us to know if you are really ready to discuss about this topic. Let me hear from you guys. We are really waiting. Again, heart, heart, heart. You can just press the heart buttons into our chat box. Ayan. So Owen has already sent his heart emoji. Okay, thank you. Eliza as well. And so as with John, ayan. So Via, have a nice day. Same as with you. And so as Miara. So let us now continue. So, what is editorial writing? It is an expression of fact and opinion in a concise, logical, pleasing order for the sake of the entertaining or influencing opinion or policies in such ways that its importance to the average reader will be clear. So remember that editorial writing is not only about stating your opinion, but also you have to state facts. So come along, these opinions must be supported with facts. You have to remember that it must be concise. So when we talk about conciseness, we are talking about brief but clear information. Of course, logical, meaning you have to be analytical, you have to be able to give your opinions in a rightful manner. No, it must be done in a logical, in a manly manner, tinatawag natin in a layman's term. Okay, be sure that once we have written an editorial writing, it must be able to influence. The primary purpose of editorial writing is to influence the opinions and policies in such ways that the importance of the average reader will be clear. So you have to remember that it's not only about you. If it's you who wrote the editorial writing, you shouldn't only take in consideration yourself. No, you also have to take into consideration your readers kasi they are your audience. So sila yung primary consideration natin. So good afternoon to Ma'am Pia Padilla Tumagan from SDO Santa Rosa. Ayan. So editorial articles appeal to be intellect. Okay, it helps the readers to sift, digest, interpret, evaluate an event or issues, and propels him to action. So basically, when we talk about editorial writing, sabi nga nila, these are the works of the intellectual people. Kasi the opinions of these people or these editorial writers are really take into ano no, in a weighing scale. So binibigyan nila tayo ng ways to think. They are given as chance to think and weigh things on. These are the things that they believe in. These are the information that can give you, and this is how you see things. So hini-help niyan to balance everything. So that's what basically the work of editorial articles. So what are the basic qualities of an editorial writing? So first, it must be interesting. A topic must always be interesting. You have to take note, mga journalistic learners, that if you choose a topic which you think people would not read, your purpose will be forfeited. Okay, so there's no use of continuing writing if you will not get the interest of your people. So you have to make sure that the topic that you will be getting, just like the ones that we have discussed previously, no, you have to make sure that they are interesting enough for you to get the attention of your readers. Next one, it must be clear and effective reasoning and has the power to influence the reader's opinion. Make sure that if everybody is already going to the yes side, you as an editorial writer must go to the no side so that you could able to see them or let them see those who have said yes, no, that there is always good when you say no, or there's always good when it comes to your side. Okay, so you always have to balance everything. So you have to give them the pros and cons of things. It's not always about if they already said, "Oh, I'll go to the yes." You have to influence them that there is always a beauty when they go to the no. Okay. And then, of course, factual and contains information to support side it chooses to take. So, of course, not just like what I have mentioned a while ago, it's not only about the opinion, but this opinion must be supported with facts, with data, with information. Because people, your data or your information would become unreliable if it would not be supported with facts. Again, take note, we are always using the word facts, right? Data, information, and you have to make it concise. Brief but sweet. That's what we mean by concise. You have to make sure that even if the article that you will be writing is short, but it has to be impactful. It must be able to leave a footprints into the minds and to the hearts of your readers. Okay. So let's now move on to the next part of this discussion. So these are now the basic sources of our editorial topics. So where can we get ba our editorial topics? Okay, so the first one is with the news. It is pegged to current event. Remember, no, mga anak, when we write articles, especially when it comes to journalism, it must always be bound into the current events. People will not read past events, no. But though, of course, it is important to read past events, past news articles that can be connected to the present ones. But of course, people are really bound into the present time. So what is important, or what is tickling into their minds, what news which is enticing to them in the present time, yun yung sasamantalahin natin. That's the thing that we need to focus on too, so that we could able to get their attention. Okay, so that's the first thing. Next one is research. We need to do wide reading, gathering of factual data. Again, you will see, again, factual data, facts, research. We have to do research so that our stand, our opinions would become solid. No, it will become solidified. It would be impactful. It would be talagang true, okay, and unbiased. Hindi pwede yung, kasi sabi nila masarap yung apple. Kasi sabi niya masarap yung apple. Hindi pwedeng ganun. There must be reasons. You do some researches. How can you say that an apple is good? And what are the benefits that we can get to it? So that would add to the flavor, or that would add to the understanding of the importance of research. And another one where we can get our research or editorial topics is from special occasions. Okay, so later on we will discuss what are these special occasions are. Okay, so I hope I'm not really getting too fast with the discussion. What are the basic parts of our editorial writing? So the first one, of course, is the title. So you have to make sure that the title that you will be making would be striking enough to arouse the reader's interest. So sabi nila, no, title pa lang, pamatay na. So that's basically, ma'am, is it somehow related with feature writing title? Somehow it can be. Okay? There are some editorial title that yung mga one-liner lang, two-liner lang, two words lang, one word lang. But there are some who are really writing it in a complex, no, in a sentence form. Like with the example that I have here, no, the example title is Erroneous Textbook, colon, a bitter pill of our ailing educations. Okay, so basically this one is really striking, no, especially now at this pandemic time, no, we can see that, some may see that there are really some errors that have not been corrected with our textbooks, particularly within our modules, no. But that doesn't necessarily mean na hindi talaga yan, no, na check those. Of course, the Department of Education, together with the teachers and all of its staff, no, are really working together to make everything perfect, no. We are really trying our best to make our textbook, our modules to be perfect and really suitable to the needs of our learners. So eto yan, yun yung mga ganyan na title is very important. Okay? Next one is the introduction part. So just like with the lead paragraph that we have discussed in the previous quarter, the introduction must be able to establish immediately, it must be able to establish the stand of the paper or of the writer at the beginning of the writing. Okay? So make sure na if you go to the yes, you go to the yes immediately at the introduction part. Okay? But if you will go to the no, make sure that your introduction part would immediately say that your stand is a no. Okay? So you have to make sure of that. Eh, hindi pwede yung nag-yes ka at the beginning or the introduction part, but the words that you are saying there contradicts into what you are saying or what is your stand is. Next one is your body. So this is now where the factual details are being presented. So the arguments are arranged from the most significant to the least significant one. So as you can see, no, remember the news, how we write the news writing, no, the inverted triangle from the most important to the least important details. So pag ganun siya, pa-inverted siya. So same as with the editorial writing. So that's how we write editorial writing as well. And the last part, of course, is the conclusion part. So it presents the solution, The plea, the advice, the command. You must also have a thought-provoking question, forecast possible effects, and quotation relevant to the subject, or just a summary made. Okay, so there are different ways on how we can write our conclusion. So you may just end it with a hashtag. Some are using that. Some may have a quotation. You may present a conclusion based, or you may present a quotation based on the conclusion of the article that you have written. You may just throw a question, or you may just basically, what will you do now? Diba? May mga ganun lang. So that's how we do it. So that's basically the basic parts of our editorial writing, or our editorial article. Now, so these are now the kinds of editorial article. So, okay, so the first one is the editorial of information. So basically, from the term itself, it just basically presents information about a particular issue. Information lang. No need to rebut, no need to persuade the readers. It's just basically present information, data, numbers, okay, or anything that would add to the information or add knowledge to the existing information, okay, or existing topic. Next one is the editorial of interpretation. So its primarily aim is to interpret or analyze an event, situation, or issue, to present the facts in more meaningful and enlightening perspective to the reader. So basically, when we talk about interpretation, most of the time, no, we analyze certain situations. We analyze certain issues. So basically, during the hype of the pandemic, no, in 2020, ayan, so a lot of editorial of interpretation are presented or have been presented into our newspapers. Ay, kasi they are trying to analyze what will happen next. So what will be the situation like? So if everybody will be doing like this, if we will keep ourselves into a lockdown, what will happen to the economy? What will happen to the people? What will happen to the jobs? So basically, that's editorial interpretation. Okay, so during the hype, no, again, during the hype. Now, we can also relate that as well, no, into the election that we are having, or that we are having, no, the editorial of interpretation. So, what will now be your stand when it comes to if this candidate will win as the president? What do you think will happen? So, these are the things, the pros and the cons, so on and so forth. So, what if naman if this candidate B will be the one to win the presidential race? So these are the things. So this will be the interpretation. The economy will grow, so on and so forth. Okay, so these are the editorial of interpretation. So they will try to analyze things. They will try to predict what would be the possible situation, what would be the possible scenario if an event would occur in the future. Okay, so I hope that you are getting me with this one. The next kind of editorial is the editorial of argumentation. So from the term itself, argument. So it lies on the facts that it takes a stand on a controversial issue and gives its reason in a logical way to convince the reader to side with the newspaper principle, or of the writer's point of view. Okay, so the editorial of argumentation, we can take a look at that, no? Yung mga scientists, no? uh, that condemns yung sa fossil, no, yung pag i-invest pa rin sa fossil energy. So that's the argument, editorial of argument. You can use that as a form of this one, because we can give you, the issue itself can give you the pros and cons if people would not take an action today, and what will happen in the future. So as you can see, no, in our social media accounts, no, a lot of editorial of argumentation are being presented into our pages, so that we could see also the things that are might happen in the future. So again, take a stand on a controversial issue. Then of course, no, there will be some who will be taking editorial of argument in a form of presenting who are their bets, no, sino ang kanilang vinavai when it comes to upcoming election. Diba? So, madami tayong makikita of editorial of argumentation dito. Not the literal argumentation that no, na nagsisigawan. It's not like that. Again, take note, it must be presented in a logical way to convince the reader to side to the newspaper's principle. Always taking a side. So, that's basically what editorial is all about. Next one, editorial of criticism. So at this point, both sides of the issue or the pros and cons of the situation, though the paper has its own side of the issue. So this one, tinatry din to criticize, excuse me, uh, from the term itself, it criticizes, it gives you the pros and cons. This is what will happen. These are the possible good things that might happen. And then, of course, meron yan at the end of the discussion or at the end of the editorial writing, the newswriter or the paper or the newspaper itself would give their stand on the particular issue. Okay, so just like with this one, what is happening now in the Philippines, ayan, what's happening now when it comes to this upcoming election. So, ayan, editorial of criticism. The next one is the editorial of persuasion. So it basically aims to persuade the readers to support a program or plan of action by enumerating the advantages that could be gained. It also contains a plea for action. So ma'am, can we consider also yung issue about the climate change yun sa mga scientists about the editorial of persuasion? Yes, you can also use that, no? Kasi with the plea, no, we are asking for everybody's help, that we must also take our stand. We must also make necessary action so that this climate change, hindi naman natin pwede na ma-stop yan eh, but at least ma-slower lang natin yung drastic effect niyan on to us, no? Doon sa Pilipinas, especially in particular, yung mga cities na nakikita na natin that may drown, no? That may remove from the map, sabi nga nila. So, ito yun. So, this is what editorial persuasion is. Next one, the editorial of commendation. So usually, this one commends, praises, or pays tribute for the success and achievement of the public figures like heroes, leaders, and other celebrities. So for good example nito, no, during the time when Heidelin Diaz won the first Olympian gold for the Philippines, no, a lot of editorial newspaper or are more on the editorial commendation. So they paid tribute to the contribution of Heidelin Diaz to the Philippines and to the sport world. Okay. And of course, ito yung sinasabi natin special occasion kanina where we can get no the information. These are from the special occasions like Independence Day, All Saints Day, Christmas, and New Year. So basically, we do not persuade, we do not give any criticisms on this kind of editorial, but basically we are just celebrating, no? We are just taking ano ba tawag dito? Pagpupugay. We are just giving them some recognitions when it comes to these special occasions. Okay, so I hope that you have gotten some information about the different kinds of editorial. So we have here again the editorial of commendation, the persuasion, the criticism, the argumentation, the interpretation, and the information. So basically, those are the kinds of editorial writing or articles that you may use. No, it's not always about persuasion because there are different ways on how to write an editorial article. Okay, now so let's now proceed. So how are we going now to write an editorial article? First one, of course, you have to be well aware of the issue, okay, that you are about to write. You know every small details that you are going to give or to write into the article or to the editorial article that you are about to write. Okay? Because even the slightest or the smallest information can make or break your stand on the topic. Eh, yung even if a simple word that you will write there, pwedeng maging taliwas yon doon sa paniniwala o doon sa what you would like to pertain to, what you would want to expound or express to your audience. Next one, make sure that it does not go against any fixed policy of the paper. Make sure that the editorial that you will be writing would not go against anybody, would not go against to uh, the rules and regulations of the newspapers or of the ano no yung mga companies for instance or of the school. So make sure that you also pa rin, maging maingat pa rin tayo when we write our article. Next one, be sure that the topic is of the interest of the reader. So just like what I have mentioned to you, you have to keep the interest of your readers. Next, have a purpose in mind. So we will go back to the kinds of article or the editorial writing that we have discussed a while ago, because with this one you will get to know what do you want to write. Okay? Para kanino ba yung pagsusulat mo? Why do you need to write this? Do you think people will gain something on this one? So you have to make sure, ano ba yung dahilan? What's the purpose of your writing? Next one, gather sufficient data. So we keep on seeing these words, data, data, data. Give statistics if possible. A lot of data coming from statistics are really considered to be reliable. Okay. Take a stand on a controversial issue. So if there are issues that you need to take a stand in, you have to take a stand. So if you think your stand is a yes, go for the yes. Make sure that your article, that the editorial writing or the article that you are about to write must start from the yes and end with the S. Yes as well. And then if you go to the side of the no, make sure that you have started it into your introduction as a no and end it with a no. Make sure na wala kayong paliligay. Ma'am, can we write or in between make a pros and cons? Yes. You can take uh, the the pros and cons of things, but make sure that if you will go to the side of the yes, etong no stand na to would not make people think or would not help your readers go to the no side. So, dapat gagamitin mo lang siya as a springboard para maipakita na mas matimbang pa din yung stand mo as a yes. Okay? So, hindi mo siya talaga i-elaborate. Parang i-contradict mo pa rin siya. That's basically how we do things there. And then, of course, you have to use a formal language in expressing your opinion. So, just like what I've said, no, the argumentation, it's not like what you know, no, sigawan. It's not like that. So, it must be done in a civil way. Kumbaga, parang civil, mga sibilisadong tao. It must be done in a sound and logical reasoning as what we have here on the last one. Okay? Logical. Lagi may dahilan. Kasi ganito yan. You have to like this, that. Hindi dahil sinabi mo kanina na masarap yung apple, you have to justify it. Okay? You have to justify why the apple is better than this. Bakit masarap ang apple? Why the apple is really important doon sa ating katawan. So that's why you have to have this. Again, give significant and factual details to bolster your opinion. Be authoritative, but do not preach. Okay, so of course, you as readers, no, our readers can feel if you are really firm with the stand that you are taking in. Kapag pakiramdam nila na medyo nagsisway ka on the stand that you are taking, medyo plak, hindi ka na pakikinggan yan. So, dapat yan, firm tayo. If you say yes at the beginning, say yes until to the end. So as if you say no at the beginning, say no until to the end. So, that's how we do this. And then, of course, limit your article to only one aspect of your chosen topic. So, if your topic is about politics, focus on the politics. If your topic is about same-sex marriage, focus on that as well. So if your topic is about allowing students to have graduation or anong tawag doon, completion rights, hindi dapat yun lang yung topic mo. Ano yung dapat namin makita doon? What do you think people will gain, or how do you think how would you let the school heads or the DepEd agree into your stand on that one? So dapat ganyan siya. So you have to be firm and authoritative to that. Okay, so I guess that we end our activity, our discussion about editorial writing today. But before that, so I would like you to take note of our jointastic or campus jointastic task for the week. So what it reads, or what it says, make a slogan and how you can encourage the Filipino people to vote wisely this upcoming election. So as if you are writing this one in an editorial way, but I'm just put it into a slogan kind of thing, and make sure that your work would not endorse anyone. Again, as as writers, no, we shouldn't be we keep ourselves into the middle. No, let's just look things just like what we have in the picture a while ago. No, you have to look at things in a different perspective. Hindi lang because people would go on the side because this is what you think is right. Always weigh things. Okay, and please do not forget to upload that into our website, to our Facebook account. That is facebook.com/groups/ETUlay. Our reference for today is from Campus Journalism in the New Generation by Jelly Eligio Alcunyo in 2011 edition. Our dear Jointastic learners, please be reminded of our schedule for this quarter. For on the week 1, we will have it from April 18 to 22. Week 2 will be on April 25 to 29. And on May 2 to 13, we will be having no session. For this one is already allotted for election-related activities. Week 3 shall resume on May 16 to 20. And our last week will be on June 20 to 24. And that would be our week 8, and that would be allotted for our recognition day. And that's it for the Campus Journalism for Beginners. Please stay tuned for e-teatro class. Any feedback is very much willing to be heard, and kindly work on go to the website tinyurl.com/etulay feedback 4. And this has been Tutor War. Thank you, everybody, for being such a participative and cooperative journtastic learners, together with Tutor Zen and Tutor Josa, and of course, our program head, Tutor... nakalimutan ko. Okay. Ayan. So, thank you again. Okay, so always remember to be happy and don't forget to smile. See you next session, our dear journtastic learners. Bye.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag #ETUlayLevelUp. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!